Hello and welcome to this new video. In this video I want to show you how you can access your OneDrive in Linux using the free software Rclone. Usually in Linux it's a little bit difficult to access your cloud data. For example, Microsoft with OneDrive or Google with their Google Drive, they don't provide a native client you can use in Linux. But the free software Rclone is here to help. This is basically a synchronization software for different cloud services you can use to access your cloud service like OneDrive. So basically this software also works for different cloud services. So this manual or these instructions here will work similarly with other cloud services. Okay, everything I show here in this video is also available here in this blog post. So click the link below and you can copy all the commands here so you don't have to type them off from this video. Or if I talk too fast, well, all the instructions are also available here. Okay, let's get started. In the first step, we open a terminal here on Linux. I'm using Linux Mint. However, this instructions here should work for other Linux distributions as well. I used it in Ubuntu and also in OpenSUSE. Okay, terminal is now open. Let's copy the first command. So it's best to copy the commands that you don't have any typos in it. Okay, the first command is curl https rclone.org install.sh. So basically we download an install script here from the Rclone website and execute it here with the bash and sudo rights. Okay, I copy it in here, hit the enter key. The script is downloaded. And after that, we need to enter our root password. So we just have to type enter here. And then we are asked here for our password. Enter your Linux root password here. And then Rclone is installed to your computer. And here we go. Rclone was successfully installed. Okay, the next thing we need to do is do our configuration, set up our OneDrive that we can access it from Linux with Rclone. So we type in here rclone config, and it's not a graphically software, it's basically a menu here in the terminal, and we have to select the first option here, N for new remote. And now we can enter a name for the remote. In my case, I will enter OneDrive as I want to access my OneDrive. Basically, you can enter every name here and hit enter. Okay, now we have to select our storage service here. And as you can see, you can access a lot of different cloud services here with Rclone, for example, Amazon Drive, Amazon S3, Box.com, Dropbox. So basically this instructions here will work very similarly with different cloud services, Google Drive, HTTP, and where we have our OneDrive, it's number 33 here. So we enter 33 here. Hit enter. And now we can ask for the client and ID. Oh my God, what is the client ID? Luckily for us, we just have to hit enter here. We don't have to enter a client ID. And the same goes for the client secret. We don't have to enter a client secret. Just hit enter here. And the next step, we need to define which Microsoft Cloud service we want to access. In our case, it's very simple. So select one for Microsoft Cloud Global here for the region. And now we are being asked if we want to do an advanced config. And as for the client ID and for the client secret, we can just select no, we don't want an advanced config here. So it's very easy. Okay, use autoconfig. Of course, we want to do that. We want to keep things simple and hit yes. And in the background, you can see that the browser has been opened. We are now redirected to the login page here to our live account or OneDrive account. And so we basically have to authorize the client Rclone here to access our OneDrive. Once this is done, we have a success message here, and we are now being asked which type of connection we want to use. In our case, it's OneDrive Personal or Business. So we enter 1. And now we are being asked for the config drive ID. And lucky for us, we don't have to enter much here because we only have one option here. This is our personal OneDrive with a given ID. Hit enter. And well, they found drive root of type personal. So everything is now set up and we have to select yes here. And in the last step, we have to select yes again, that everything is okay. And we want to keep our settings here. So yes again. And well, basically that's it. As you can see now, we have these current remotes here available. OneDrive of type OneDrive, and OneDrive is a name we have entered, and OneDrive, well, that's our type. We can hit Q for quit, and we are back on our command line. Okay, the next question is, how do we access our OneDrive folder here in Linux using, well, any tool or the File Explorer? As you can see, we have configured it here in Rclone. However, there's no option here to access it yet. Okay, the first thing we need to do is create a folder here in which we want to mount our OneDrive. So I'm typing here mkdir OneDrive. This creates this folder here. It's currently empty, but in this folder we want to mount our OneDrive. So let's do that. You can copy this command here. Copy Rclone -vfs -cache -mode writes mount OneDrive in the home folder, OneDrive in our folder we just created. So we paste it in here, and we need to correct this one here because, well, I named my OneDrive a little bit different. So the name here, that's the name we have given in Rclone, in our Rclone configuration. This is case sensitive, so make sure you enter the right strings here. Okay, hit enter, and well, that's it. There's basically no feedback here. It just stays like this. But in the background, if I have a look here in my OneDrive folder, as you can see, my files are now here available in the OneDrive folder, and I can access my OneDrive here with the OneDrive folder. Okay, there are some things you must keep in mind working with this folder. You can work with these files here in OneDrive like in any other local folder. However, you can only access these files when you are connected to the internet. So none of these files are really synchronized down to your computer. It's all online. So if you do changes, well, then it will be automatically synchronized back to the cloud service. So there are no local files. You need an internet connections to access your OneDrive. The advantage is, well, it doesn't need local storage. However, if you don't have an internet connection, well, then you cannot work with these folders here. And one other thing to keep in mind is if you copy a big file here into your OneDrive, it's automatically uploaded in the background. However, larger files may take a while, so don't shut down your computer while something is uploading in the background. Okay, and the last thing, well, if you restart your computer, your OneDrive here will no longer be mounted and this folder will be empty again. So you need to run this command every time you start your computer. And the command, well, it's a little bit complicated. So my recommendation is to create a small shell script here. I created here rclone.sh. And if we look into it, we can see basically just contains our command here, and I can make it executable here with chmod +x rclone.sh, and then I can run this command here either manually after restart, or I can put it in some auto start location in my Linux. So this folder here will automatically get mounted during the next start. Okay, well, basically that's it. So you can set up your OneDrive in Linux with Rclone, and as you can see, there are only a few steps you need to do to configure it, and everything is also described here in this blog post. And okay, that's it. Goodbye.